So this is a really weird angle, but I needed that lighting, so this is going to be a sketchbook tour for Sketchbook 11 and Sketchbook 10. Doing both of them together just because 11 is actually pretty small, and I did not manage to finish it before I moved on to Sketchbook 12. So, yeah. So the first thing that I have in number 11 is just some planning for the front cover page, which I did in, I believe, water-based markers as opposed to alcohol-based markers. And then as well, I've got some different goals for this sketchbook. A lot of them I ended up transferring as goals still for the next sketchbook, and that's okay as well. The first character in here is some work on an OC. So her name is Orange. And then also, I don't know, event piece. I started dating my pieces, so this was around January of this year. But that did not last that long. This is some doodles while we were playing D&D. This is body study, and then this is after seeing one of the Avengers movies again, I think. This was when everybody was making their Into the Spider-Verse personas, I think, as well. Some Keith from Voltron. These are two thumbnail ideas for a acrylic painting that I ended up doing later. These are random doodles. This is a little tiny blob, Gavin Reed from Detroit Become Human. Some Hero. This is when I was getting back into drawing models from Instagram and Pinterest. So I believe all of these references are from Pinterest. And then as well, I was really happy about the fact that I was dating things, even though that didn't last past the sketchbook. More Detroit Become Human. This is another character of mine that I was working on. So this is, again, the rough sketch idea for an acrylic painting that I later did. Actually, no, this is the rough sketch idea for a painting that I didn't end up doing. But that's okay too. This is when I was really experimenting with how I wanted to have the square pages laid out, and then I didn't like it at all. But having square pages was really interesting instead of
just sort of the normal size page, because it was a different shape to work with. So totally recommend getting weird shaped notebooks, or even I cut this one myself because the covers were able to be cut. Kind of recommend.
Voltron fan art and a teeny tiny little face. So more body study. These are also from Pinterest, I believe. Yeah, figure study warm-up. These are some characters from a comic that I want to do at some point, but I kind of ruined the aesthetic with Crayola markers instead of doing a watercolor wash in the back. This is when I got just some cheap charcoal and pencils. So this is a test page, and then this is me testing them out together. This is me again getting into Momorosi. She's amazing on Instagram. And sort of playing around with my own style. So, drawing things in other people's styles, figuring out my own style. These are dumb sketches from the same D&D. Somebody's getting stabbed with hair. Dunno. These are the same D&D characters, so these are some of the non-player characters that we met that session. This is my character from the D&D session, and my friends. And then this is the non-player character that was introduced as sort of the guy that we could go and talk to about different things that we had to go and figure out. And he has a pumpkin for a head. This is my friend's character, who's a fairy, and she's about that tall. Okay, we still recording. We still good. So then the other notebook, this is just a postcard that I got from a thrift shop. And this one has a ton of things in the front. So this is an acrylic paint pouring experiment that went wrong, and I just pasted it in. The piece on the front is Rhythmic Turbulence by Roger Deering. and it was originally an oil painting from Maine. These are some goals for the sketchbook. This is a stuffy that I have, and I think this is me getting used to Ohu markers. This is some watercolor. Again, I was into dating at that time, but now not so much. This is one of my main characters in Ohu. And then some swatches for Hughember. Some D&D sheets in here as well. Oh, heck yeah, some D&D sheets in here as well. This is a song, and this is a picture of the singer, whose name I now forget, and I will put it there. Please, editing Dahlia of 5 minutes from now. That is a bleed through page. This, I believe, is my swatch page for the Ohu markers that I got. And then this is the I got back into doing the title pages, if you will. So these are my friends, and this one's me. And then my cat walked across the page, so that's why it's all wet. Did some watercolor swatching for the very first part of the sketchbook. This is the Christmas episode of Sandersides, and then the little puppet episode. And this is Virgil. My friend's D&D character, who is a communist dwarf pirate. My D&D character, who is very classic vampire, edgy boy, and can turn into a bat. These are some more D&D doodles while we were playing. A small Allura. This is a character that we met in the D&D world, so a sentient fox. And then this is more from the Sandersides videos. And then Virgil, best boy. These are OC doodles and some sort of expressions, and then getting back into watercolor with black fine liner, which is kind of my go-to. I drew these at work, I remember, I think on my break. And they're just my left hand. But again, this is watercolor with the black fine liner. This was when the final season of Voltron came out, so a lot of sketches of that. This was while I was watching it, and this was going back and actually looking at screenshots that I had taken. So a lot more cohesive, as opposed to just sort of even just the quality of the anatomy and where facial features are supposed to go. I can't even remember this character's name, but she made me sad. Small Lance. Of course, best boy. This is an idea that I had for a bigger acrylic piece, and I ended up coloring it here because I liked it. But, just sort of some tarot card art. This is somebody off social media, most likely. This is more of that same season of Voltron. I need to stop drawing Shiro. And then these were all done not in the nice markers that I have, but in Crayola washable. But I actually really like the way that they turned out. It's just blocked in color. There's not, the only place I attempted a gradient was here, I think. This is one of my characters, and then this is a bunch of planning for the novel that I'm writing here as well. And I think even just for a bit, until there. This is a piece when I got Ohu's, so Ohu and Micron fine liner at that point. Some body study, the abs. This is more of that planning for big pieces for that novel. This is an OC, we ain't gonna talk about that. This is planning for the comic that I am writing with some little ghost hunting children. And then this is back to, I finally finished the season and I was sad, so I did a bunch of drawing for my Instagram page, which I'm a link as well, because I like to do that self-plug. However, this is me being super sad after finishing Voltron. So Lots of little doodles, and again, not even the nice quality markers, just the Crayola washables for a lot of this art. Even though I had the Ohus, they were bleeding through, so I didn't like working with them in the sketchbook. I got over that, but at that point I was only using them for like finished nice pieces on separate pieces of paper. These are some drawings just of different people's like sort of movement pictures on Pinterest. A lot of dancers at this point, actually, or like people who are like dancing in their photos on social media, because they have interesting different like lines of movement. I tried putting tape in, actually. So this is washi tape, and I apparently didn't finish it, but the idea, I was spending some time thinking about like what part of her outfit I wanted the tape to be. Under here, I think, is planning for a art challenge that I was doing on Instagram, and then these are again off of Pinterest, some models for just movement. This is my boyfriend out of a picture that we took while we were in our cosplay for D&D. This is one of my OCs. These are some little tiny facial expressions. My thing stopped recording. These are some expressions, so practicing expressions, some more social media people. This is me trying to blend Ohu markers on actual marker paper that I have bought. And it turned out surprisingly not so great, because the actual marker paper absorbed it too fast, almost as fast as my sketchbook paper, so I need new marker paper. I still need new marker paper. And this is an old sketchbook. I got 3 Copics from one of my friends, who is amazing, and I tried them drawing just one of my boyfriend's D&D characters. He's the dungeon master, so he has more characters than the rest of us. This is pencil drawing while we were playing D&D, and then I went back and added the wash of color with watercolor in the background. Cheap watercolor as well. So, just little tiny really fast doodles, which I think helps me improve sort of like having different facial expressions and different movement. Some OCs, some more D&D drawings. Again, the same D&D campaign day, and then this was a piece that I did, and it's based off of a tarot card. I'm not sure which Avengers movie had come out recently, or if I was just rewatching them, but again, some of that same Ohu marker work with Steve Rogers, and then Detroit Become Human. This spread I absolutely love. These are the Raven Boys from the Raven Cycle, and I had gotten recently at that point a whole bunch of water-based markers which blend so much better than my alcohol-based markers did. I don't know if that's supposed to be a thing. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to work, but they're not as bold of a wash. They're kind of less... My brain has no words for the word I'm thinking of. They're less opaque than alcohol-based markers. The only problem is that they did leave like the sort of streakiness in the skin tones. These are the Try Guys. I think I titled it My Last 2 Brain Cells. This is my main character in the novel that I'm writing, and sort of just her with different hairstyles. She seems to be my go-to for when I can't think of anything to draw, but I want to practice and warm up. This is a Marina and the Diamonds album cover. This is the first Captain America movie. And then these are 2 characters from the novel. These are 2 characters from the novel that I'm writing. They're both mermaids. This is more Voltron, some Matt Holt because he is best boy. some more Matt Holt because he is still best boy, even with his short hair. And then this is when I was getting really into the blending that I could do with the water-based markers. Even just on, this is supposedly the marker paper and it doesn't work that well, but this is just within my sketchbook. So the idea of using that not just for blending skin tone more evenly, but also for bruises and stuff. And then this is an android from Detroit Become Human, so obviously they bleed blue blood. This is my dumb character from a very short D&D campaign that we're doing, and she is a magical girl, and that's the whole concept. She also has a small magical bunny. Detroit Become Human, and again, the only note I left to myself was the fact that androids would blush blue instead of pink. This is some design work for a short story that I was gonna do, and then the main character. This is reverse AU for Detroit. No. And more reverse AU, I think. No, proper AU. Yeet. These are incorrect quotes for the novel that I was writing, and the only person to appreciate this was me and my friend. Oh, that's just bad underneath there. This is me watching Lucifer with my sister. Lucifer is amazing. So we're doing skin tones and like mouths, noses, with the water-based markers that I had. This is Romano and Spain from Italia, which I have not drawn in a long time. Some facial expressions. Oh, I have a note. Drawing Bad Cop Gavin is making me want to draw Mafia Lovino again. So there we go. And this is obviously Bad Cop Gavin. The same face with different facial expressions, which I did not successfully do, and then I retried here a little bit more successfully. Some black paper and crayon. This is Lovino again from Italia because the year is still 2012. This is the magical girl character that I was talking about before and what's in her bag and stuff. She also actually has, I think, a lot of points in Arcana and can do some magic, but it's not really useful magic, so like, I'll meet the artist that I did not color, but I do like. Actually, I don't really like that face. That's, never mind. The first and only time that we played the campaign with the magical girl character, I rolled to flirt with somebody to get information and rolled a nat 1. So, unfortunately, that's not in her list of capabilities. And this is the other characters from that same campaign. This is facial expressions and more facial expressions. This is little tiny Matt Holt. And then this is a comic that I was writing a while ago, and the two main characters from it. Again, these are more characters from something that I was writing and not drawing. So these are the little tiny, I was finding it really hard to draw what I wanted them to look like. So these are little tiny sketches for them. And then from that, I was able to go on and keep properly drawing them. So Pinterest, more Pinterest. That's actually my main character's love interest from the novel. And then here are all of the characters, including the main character from that same book. Pinterest. This is my, or this was my prom dress. I was not at prom during the creation of this particular sketchbook. I was just feeling nostalgic, I suppose. And then these are those same characters that I did the, the two little tiny drawings. These are those same characters, and the big hoodie again, and the the actual outfit, and I figured out what I wanted them to look like. And then the last few pages are a mixture of, actually, I think the only thing in here is watercolor and pen. But it's the start of a comic for something that I had previously written as a book. Little teeny tiny Romano. And I think that's it for the back of this. Just juice. Yeah, so I plan on doing more sketchbook tours, and I'm going to go all the way back and do all of the previous ones before coming back to present day in the sketchbook that I am working on now. Thank you so much for watching.